Hi there, this is Dr. Unbuddy with Project 9, and in this case we have collected some real Twitter data, and we're going to read that data in, and like we've done many times before, read some data in, do some analysis, and then do some output based on that. So with that, let's take a look at what's going on here. First of all, let's take a look at the file that comes in. It's a file, and it has it has a user, it has a month, and then it has a tweet. And these tweets sometimes will have hashtags. So there's a hashtag there, there's a hashtag there, and so on. This one doesn't have one, there's another hashtag, and so on. And so what we're going to do is we're going to collect up for each of these the user, the month, and any hashtags that are in there. And we're just going to ignore the rest of it. So we have to have some functions that find hashtags in the tweets and collect those together. And if there are two hashtags, then it'll appear twice in the list. I'm not seeing one here right away. The months are just done, for months of the year, like 5 is May, and so on. So that's what we're working with. And what we're going to do is we're going to read these in as lists, and then we're going to take those lists and pass them to some functions and create dictionaries, and dictionaries of lists, dictionaries of sets, and things like that. And that's the basic idea of this. And as we have done before, we're providing a file that has the functions in it, and then there's a couple of extra things in there, like there's some constants that you might find handy. And on this one, we have a whole bunch of functions, which hopefully will make things easier for you. And we even have some of the calls in the main part of the main part of the program. So let's take a look at these. And we describe a lot of things, and then there are about what's going on. I'm going to pass that for a moment. Okay, the open file, we've done that before. We're going to have a read data function, and we describe what things look like. And this is giving us a list of lists where we have the user, the month, and then a list of the hashtags that they used. And so one of the things we'll do is when we read through, we'll take the tweet, we'll pass that tweet to this get the hashtag, and we'll get back a list of hashtags. And to help out with that, we have a function which will validate a hashtag. So we'll say, I think I have a hashtag, I'll send it to here, yep, I got a valid hashtag or not. And there are things like anything that has a single digit, because we don't want to look at like we're number one and think that that's a hashtag, because it's not. And then a hashtag that has punctuation in it by Twitter rules is not a hashtag. So we check those out. These two functions are helper functions to make writing this read data function easier. Then we start to we're going to take this list of lists, right? That's our basic data structure here, a list of lists. Each list in there, like I said, has a username, a month, and then a list of the hashtags. So and that's for each line. So this list here will be as long as there's one entry list in there for every line in my data file, which is quite long. Okay, so once we've got all that, now we're going to pass some information in. So what's returned by this read data now becomes what is passed into all other functions. So you'll see data there. So that's as if you say data equals read data. And so that's what's getting passed in here. And so we're going to take that, some usernames, and we're going to return a dictionary. Okay? And what does this dictionary looks like? Well, this will be a count of the tags that we're finding for that for that. So let's see. So it takes 2 parameters, and then we're going to build this histogram of that. And let me actually take a look at. So this is history tag count for users. Down here at the bottom, we have get histogram. There we go. And here's the function call. We take our data. That's what we read in. That's my list of lists. And now we've got 2 users. And for this test, I just have a small set of data here. And we're going to go through and see that for these 2 users, we see that the hashtag MSU appeared 3 times. There's 1 time. There's another time, and there's another time. So for these 2 users, okay, those appeared 3 times, and so on. We can go through that. We do something, and we do something similar where we're getting it by the month. So here I have January, and for these 2 users, they had the hashtag MSU and MSU pride. In the month of February, there was nothing, empty set. Same thing with March, empty set. But in April, okay, we had that hashtag and that hashtag. And we find that by going through here. So here's something from the month of April, and there's Arbor Day showing up. Here's another thing from the month of April. That was empty. Okay, that didn't do us any good. Here's another thing from the month of April. MSU Pride shows up. Okay, and that's how we build this one. How about the 3 most common ones? So again, these 2 users, what are the 3 most common ones that they do? So we give you some data, and you go through, collect them up, and sort them, and then we have 4. So MSU Pride occurred 4 times in here. There's 1 there, there's 1 there, another 1 there, and another 1 there. Okay, so that occurred 4 times. MSU appeared 3 times. Okay, and so we go through, we collect them all up, sort them, grab the slice. You can use your friend here. So you sort, and then you slice, and you can get the top 3 out of that. And then here we do it by individual. So that was collectively. This time we're doing it by individual. So, all right, MSU Pride occurred 4 times by this user. MSU occurred 3 times by this user. And again, we're taking the top 3. And Spartans occurred twice by that user. All right, so now this is like the other one, but it's just a little more complex. And then finally, the last one looks at the similarity by month. And again, we've got 2 users. What are they doing combined together? All right, which, like I say, an intersection is a handy thing to use here. So, our list comes in. So in the month of January, these 2 guys in common use those 2. Again, we have some empty sets in there, and so on. So that's the way, that's what we're doing. And then we have, we run some complete tests. That those drivers are actually in the main part, and then as we've done before, we're going to plot, but watch out, we actually need we need multiple things that we're going to pass to my plotting function. And let me scroll back here to the plot, and notice it takes an X list, a Y list, and 2 users. Okay, so it's important that these 2 lists, they've got to be the same size for me to plot. One is simply the number of the months. That's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Right? And then the Y list is the count of common hashtags by month that was returned by the similarity function. Right? Notice, don't call the similarity function in the plotting routine. Right? We leave that alone. We pass it just the numbers 1 to 12 and the results that we get out of the similarity function. So the tricky thing here is you got to make sure that the first similarity, you have the similarity value for January as the first one in the Y list, and then the similarity for February as the second item in the Y list, and so on. Once you got that set up, pass it to the function that does the plotting, and away you go. So again, let me point out the sort of the main thing to think about is, where you want to be starting here is when you read in the data, you're calling these 2 functions, and you're getting a list of lists, right? And each one of these inner lists has a username, a month, and a list of the hashtags. And we get that list of hashtags by splitting and sending that tweet here, and we get back a list of all the hashtags in it. And to help out, this tells me whether I have, here, oh, I think I have something that looks like a hashtag. Is it really a valid hashtag? And this helper function takes care of that. And then once you have that data, that is, so what comes out of the read data is what is passed in here as data in each of these other functions. All right, hopefully I'll give you enough to get started on this. Good luck.